Hey everyone, just wanted to send a quick update and let you know what's going on. God is good, and we are doing really well here as a family in Roatan, Honduras. It hasn't been without its challenges, that's for sure. In the last week, wow, we began the week before Easter, which down here in Latin America is known as Semana Santa. It's generally the busiest week in any beach community in Latin America. The mainland just empties and everybody pours out to the islands, and so Roatan was just invaded that week. There was a lot of people, and that's both good and bad. You know, bad for traffic, bad for trying to find things that you generally can't find, but great for opportunities and relationships. But we started out that week. We were celebrating a birthday with some friends of ours, and I managed to do something incredibly stupid. And we were out on a boat going around the island doing some snorkeling, and I dove down a little too deep, a little too fast, and I perforated my eardrum. And so I spent a good part of that week just in not being able to walk too well because my equilibrium was all thrown off and just having a lot of pain. I guess the real stupid thing was once I perforated my eardrum, rather than calling it quits right then and there and staying in the boat, I decided to snorkel the rest of the day, and I managed to get myself a double ear infection, which was not too intelligent. So I spent about 10 days on antibiotics trying to get rid of that as well. Later on in that week, we had I had an opportunity to go out and do some fishing with a good friend of mine that lives over in West End, and we went way out to some different islands here called the Cayos Cochinos, and I managed to put sunblock over every part of my body that was getting sun except for right about here. When we came back, I just had blisters across my face, and so it was a real good Semana Santa. But during the course of that week, we just prayed and prayed and prayed, and just praying for the opportunities we were going to have over the weekend. And that Sunday morning came, Easter Sunday, and God did some incredible things. But I guess I'm going too fast here, because Good Friday, as we were continuing to pray, Max and Clay came up and they started asking a lot of questions about Jesus. Who is Jesus? What did Jesus do? Did he die on a cross? Why did he die on a cross? Can we ask him into our hearts? And so we sat down, and together with Max and Clay, Melissa and I read the Easter story. And Max and Clay, after we were done reading the Easter story, asked if they could ask Jesus into their hearts. And so they did, which is an awesome praise. What a great way to celebrate Good Friday, and by my two boys asking Jesus into their hearts. But Friday was phenomenal. Sunday came around, and we had over 80 people show up to church on that Sunday. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And what was really incredible was not only were there 80 people that showed up, but during that service, we had 3 people who gave their hearts to the Lord. Following service, we had a baby dedication right there on West Bay Beach. It was absolutely beautiful. Little Sebastian, Chris, Tony, and Annette was dedicated. And then after the dedication, we had 6 people who decided to follow the Lord in obedience and get baptized. And so right there in the midst of Semana Santa, in the busiest week possible on the beaches, we gathered and we baptized 6 people right there in the water in the Caribbean. It was a beautiful day and calm and crystal blue waters. And 4 of the 6 that were baptized were actually a family that were visiting from Michigan. So it was a phenomenal experience overall. And then after the baptism service and after the dedication, we all gathered together as a church family, and we just had a time of fellowship and celebration, and we enjoyed a meal together right there at the hotel where we meet every Sunday. And we were able to feed over 75 people that came. It was just a beautiful, beautiful experience, a wonderful time. And God continues to do that great work. You know, we can anticipate that on Easter Sunday and on Christmas, we're going to have big crowds that show up at church. And so we prepare for large crowds to show, because sometimes there's a lot of people that those are the only 2 days of the year they're going to ever be at church. And so just this last Sunday, the Sunday after Easter, I have to confess that I probably didn't have as much faith as I needed. And so as we were setting up for church, I set up far less chairs, knowing that it wasn't Easter, so there was going to be fewer people that were going to be in attendance. And I probably set up about half as many chairs as I had the week before. Well, Sunday morning rolled around, and God saw fit to match the numbers from the previous week. Again, we had about 80 people that showed up at church, and it was standing room only where we were. God is good, and boy, He knows what He's doing, because I got to say, I sure don't. But God is really blessing the ministry here at our church. We've been really involved in community outreach. This next week, we're going to be partnering up with the ministry with alternative missions called Dwellings, and we're going to be building a home for a family in Gravel Bay. And so we have a lot of people from the church that are going to be coming out and help and serve in that area. And God is just building relationships left and right. In the last couple of weeks, we've had new Bible studies begin. We have a youth group starting this Wednesday. If you guys can be praying, Wednesday the 14th, our new youth group for ourchurch.tv will be starting. And we're really excited about that. There's a lot of young people in the community that are just kind of chomping at the bit, waiting for this one to get going. And then on top of that, we also have more community outreaches that are happening. We have some new folks that have come on board. They're going to be helping to lead worship at the church. I mean, God is just blessing us to a point where we don't even really know what to do. There's just so much going on. So I just want to thank you guys so much for your prayers. I want to thank you for you being involved in this ministry. You are a vital part of all that we're doing here in Roatan, Honduras. And I want to thank you for what's going on. If you could continue to pray, pray for continued growth at the church, more opportunities for service, people to get people to step up and really start serving, because there's so many areas to serve. We still have need for people involved in our worship ministry. We need help with our youth ministry. We have an opportunity to begin a junior high ministry, but we need people to really get plugged in to do that. We have opportunities for community service. And there's just a lot happening, and we really need people to be a part of that. Also, to be praying for Max and Clay. I've been blessed to hear about how many people have been praying for Max and Clay all over. But Max and Clay this last week, they got what we believe to be dengue fever, and they've been extraordinarily sick. Now, over the weekend, they showed signs of improvement. On Sunday, they were doing really well. But even this morning, as I'm recording this, Clay is beginning to complain of some aches and pains and headaches, and that's generally how dengue fever works. It comes on strong, and then it subsides, and then it comes back again. And so I just want to continue to lift up Max and Clay in prayer and ask for complete and total healing. And I thank you guys so much for everyone who has prayed so faithfully for their healing. Well, you guys, that's what's going on in a nutshell this week, and I'm excited to share all these great stories with you. I'm looking forward to sharing even greater reports. Be sure to check out the photos that are been updated in our photo album from Sunday services, and looking forward to sharing all that God's doing here on the island of Roatan as we continue to press into Him and establish His kingdom here on the island as it is in heaven. All right, guys, take care. God bless.